Mabuhay, everyone, and welcome back to Financially Smart Pinoy. I'm Lex,
And I'm Vera.
ready to jump into a deep dive on some fascinating financial insights.
As always.
So this one's especially for all you Filipinos out there working towards that financial independence and literacy.
Yeah, taking charge of your money.
Exactly. And if this is your first time with us,
Yeah.
here's the deal.
Yeah. How does this work?
You send us the sources that got you thinking about your finances, articles, research, anything.
Uh-huh.
And then we break it all down, pull out the most useful advice to help you level up your money game.
Exactly. For today, we've got a cool mix. An article about this finance professor at UConn, Ling Wang. She teaches her students to be like the CFOs of their own lives.
I love that.
Plus, we're going to dig into this Pew Research Center study about how confident Americans feel about their financial knowledge.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a powerful combo.
Speaking of power, hit that follow button and share this episode with anyone who could use a financial boost.
Right.
Now, about Professor Wang's philosophy, this CFO of your own life thing.
Right.
I feel like it really connects with the Filipino concept of being ways. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Ways is all about resourcefulness, right? Making the most of what you've got.
Yeah, being smart with your resources.
And Professor Wang, she takes it even further by encouraging her students to apply that same savvy thinking to their finances.
Yeah, like you don't need some fancy degree to be in control of your money.
Exactly. You've got the smarts. Let's put them to work.
Yeah, it's about empowerment, taking charge, and not letting financial jargon or complex strategies intimidate you.
Right. And it's really inspiring because Professor Wang, she doesn't just teach the theory.
No.
She actually shares her personal investing strategies with her students.
Wow, so she's really walking the walk.
Yeah, showing them the ropes from her own experience.
I love that. It makes me think, who are your financial mentors?
Oh, that's a good question.
Who do you turn to for advice or inspiration?
Yeah.
It could be a family member, a friend, someone online.
Right.
Sharing that journey with someone you trust can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Now let's look at that Pew Research Center study. This one's got some eye-openers, especially when it comes to how confident Americans feel about their financial know-how.
Yeah, this part was fascinating to me. The study found some pretty big differences in confidence levels based on income race, even age.
Yeah. One thing that really stood out to me is that white adults tend to be more confident in their financial knowledge compared to Black, Hispanic, or Asian adults.
Interesting.
Now, this doesn't mean one group is actually more knowledgeable than another.
Right, it's more about perceived knowledge and confidence.
Exactly. But it does make you wonder.
Well, why does this gap exist?
And what can we do to empower everyone, no matter their background, to feel confident about managing their finances?
Yeah, that's a big one. It highlights how important it is to have access to financial education that's inclusive,
Absolutely, and caters to everyone's needs.
especially for our Filipino listeners, many of whom are navigating such different financial landscapes, both here and abroad.
Yeah, having the right knowledge and resources is crucial.
It's like having a financial toolbox equipped with the right tools for every situation.
Love that.
So let's dive into some of those tools. The Pew study breaks down specific money management skills where Americans feel either confident or, well, not so confident.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Where do people feel most comfortable?
It looks like finding a credit report. A solid 75% of Americans felt confident about this.
Okay, that's good.
And knowing your credit score is so important. It's like your financial report card.
Yeah, for sure. But how about something like creating a budget? That tends to trip people up.
You're right. Creating a monthly budget sees a dip in confidence with only 59% feeling good about their skills.
Makes sense. Budgeting can feel restrictive to some people, but it's really about taking control, not limiting yourself.
Totally. It's like creating a roadmap for your money so it takes you where you want to go.
I like that.
Then there's paying off debt, another crucial one. But only 57% feel confident about that. And right behind that is saving money, with 56% feeling good about their abilities.
So we're seeing a pattern here. Confidence levels drop when we go beyond just checking your credit score.
Yeah.
It tells me there's a real need for more education and support when it comes to actively managing money.
I agree. And this is where things get interesting. When it comes to creating an investment plan, the kind that helps you build wealth, only 27% of Americans feel confident.
Whoa, that's a huge drop.
It is. It really highlights why we need to make investing more accessible and understandable.
Yeah, it shouldn't feel like something only financial gurus can do.
Exactly. It's a skill for anyone who wants to build a secure future.
And for our listeners in the Filipino community who are often known for their hard work and dedication,
Yeah.
Investing can be a powerful tool to achieve your financial dreams.
It's about making your money work as hard as you do.
Exactly. Investing isn't just for the wealthy. It's about taking control and building a brighter future for yourself and your family.
Now let's talk about where people are getting this financial knowledge.
Yeah, because having the right knowledge is like having a good recipe, but you still need to know how to cook the dish.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So according to the Pew study, the most common source is actually family and friends.
That makes sense. We often learn about money from our parents, our Lolos and Lolas.
Yeah, it's just part of growing up.
Right.
But the thing is, the financial landscape is constantly changing.
Yeah, true.
What worked for our parents might not be the best strategy for us today.
Exactly. So it's important to be open to learning from various sources. And that's where the internet comes in. It's a gold mine, especially for Filipinos abroad. Websites, blogs, podcasts like ours, even entire online communities dedicated to personal finance.
It's like a modern-day Beyonce for financial knowledge.
I like that.
And that's what we're all about at Financially Smart Pinoy. We want to create a space where everyone can learn, share their experiences, and support each other on this journey to financial freedom.
Speaking of sharing experiences, remember how Professor Wang openly shares her investment strategies with her students?
Yes.
I think there's a powerful lesson there for all of us.
Oh, absolutely. It made me think about how we talk about money within our own families and communities. It's not always easy, right? But being open to these conversations, sharing what we've learned, our successes, even our mistakes.
Right.
That's where real growth happens.
I couldn't agree more. It's like creating a ripple effect of knowledge and empowerment within our own circles.
Now, before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, let's circle back to those money management skills we were discussing earlier, especially the one where confidence seems to take a dip investing.
Yeah, only 27% of Americans feel confident creating an investment plan. And we know achieving financial independence often requires taking that leap into the world of investments.
It can seem intimidating. But I think it's important to remember that investing isn't just for the wealthy. It's a way to make your money work for you, regardless of how much you have.
Absolutely. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow. And just like any plant, your investments need nurturing and attention to thrive.
Exactly. And the good news is there are tons of resources available to help you get started, even if you're a complete beginner. Books, online courses, even robo-advisors that can help simplify the process.
The key is to start small, learn consistently, and don't be afraid to seek guidance when needed.
We'll talk more about investing later in the episode. But for now, let's take a quick break and come back to explore the different sources people are using to learn about personal finance.
Sounds good. Welcome back, everyone. We were just talking about how important it is to have reliable sources of information when it comes to managing your finances.
Exactly. We talked about family and friends, which are great starting points.
Right.
We also touched on all those incredible resources available online.
Yeah.
But the Pew study also highlights some other interesting sources like schools and even the media.
It's fascinating how the way people learn about finances varies so much depending on their age, income, even their cultural background.
Yeah. For instance, the study found that Asian adults are more likely than other racial groups to learn about personal finance from the internet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which makes sense, especially with the strong online communities we see among Filipinos.
It's true. And think about younger generations. They're digital natives, so naturally they turn to online resources and social media for financial information.
It's a sign of the times. But let's not forget about the importance of formal education. The study found that adults with lower incomes are more likely to have learned about personal finance in school.
That's interesting.
Which makes you wonder if financial literacy should be a core part of the curriculum across all socioeconomic levels.
Right. It's such a fundamental life skill.
It is.
We need to equip our youth with the knowledge and tools to navigate the financial world confidently.
Yeah, and parents and families play a big role too.
Absolutely.
Talking about money at home, setting a good financial example, encouraging responsible habits from a young age can make a huge difference.
It really does set the stage for a lifetime of financial well-being. Now let's bring all of this back to our listeners, those amazing Filipinos striving for financial independence and literacy. What are some key takeaways from these sources?
I think first and foremost, remember Professor Wang's message. You are the CFO of your own life.
Yeah, take charge.
Be proactive and don't be afraid to learn.
And it's okay to ask for help, whether it's from a mentor, a financial advisor, or even online resources. There's so much support out there.
Embrace that Filipino ways mindset. Be resourceful, strategic, and always look for ways to improve your financial situation.
Absolutely. Financial literacy is a journey, not a destination.
So true.
It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and adapting to the ever-changing financial landscape.
Celebrate your successes, big or small, and learn from your mistakes. Every step towards financial independence is a victory.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch upon something that often gets overlooked, the emotional side of money.
Oh yeah, money isn't just about numbers and spreadsheets. It's tied to our values, our beliefs, even our sense of self-worth.
Exactly. And sometimes our emotions can get in the way of making good financial decisions.
Oh, for sure.
We might overspend out of fear or insecurity or avoid investing because we're afraid of losing money.
It happens.
So how can we cultivate a healthier relationship with money? One that's based on awareness, intentionality, and self-compassion.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it starts with acknowledging and understanding our emotional triggers around money.
Like what makes us spend impulsively or avoid certain financial tasks.
Right. It's about becoming aware of those patterns and then finding healthy coping mechanisms.
Creating a budget, sticking to it, seeking guidance from a financial therapist.
And remember, you're not alone in this. We all have our own experiences and challenges when it comes to money.
That's so important to remember.
But by talking openly, seeking support, and practicing self-compassion, we can build a more fulfilling and less stressful relationship with our finances. Now, speaking of stressful financial situations, let's dive into a topic that often carries a lot of emotional baggage: debt.
Debt can feel like a heavy burden, both financially and emotionally.
It can be overwhelming, stressful, and even lead to feelings of shame.
And for Filipinos who place such a high value on family and community debt, can sometimes strain relationships and create a sense of obligation.
It's important to remember that debt is not a moral failing. It's a financial situation that many people experience at some point in their lives.
Exactly. And there are ways to manage and overcome debt. It takes time, effort, and sometimes professional guidance, but it's absolutely possible.
Right.
So what are some initial steps our listeners can take to tackle debt?
First, get a clear picture of your debt situation. How much do you owe? What are the interest rates? Who are your creditors?
Once you have that information, you can start creating a plan.
There are different approaches, like the snowball method, where you focus on paying off the smallest debts first for that feeling of accomplishment, or the avalanche method, where you prioritize the debts with the highest interest rates to save money in the long run.
It's about finding a strategy that works for you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to negotiate with your creditors. You might be able to lower your interest rates or even consolidate your debt into a more manageable payment plan.
And seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. There are credit counseling agencies and financial advisors who specialize in debt management. They can provide guidance support, even negotiate with creditors on your behalf.
If debt is weighing you down, take that first step towards tackling it. It might feel daunting at first, but with the right knowledge, support, and mindset, it's a challenge you can overcome.
Absolutely. Now let's shift our focus to another essential element of financial well-being: saving.
Saving is the foundation of financial security. It allows us to weather unexpected storms, achieve our goals, and build a brighter future.
And for Filipinos, saving is often deeply connected to providing for loved ones and supporting your family both now and in the future.
It's about building a safety net and creating a legacy for the next generation. But saving can be challenging, especially with rising costs of living and competing financial priorities.
So how do we make saving a habit?
One effective strategy is to automate your savings.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account on a regular basis, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly.
It's like paying yourself first.
Exactly. You're making saving a priority before you even have a chance to spend the money.
Another tip is to treat savings like a non-negotiable expense. Just like you wouldn't skip paying your rent or your utilities, make saving a fixed part of your budget.
And don't underestimate the power of starting small.
Even if it's just a few pesos each week or month.
It all adds up over time. It's about consistency and developing a saving mindset. Now let's talk about a specific saving goal that's often top of mind for Filipinos: saving for a house.
Owning a home is a dream for many, representing stability, security, and a legacy for future generations.
It's deeply ingrained in Filipino culture. But with rising property prices, saving for a down payment can seem daunting.
So how do we turn this dream into a reality? What steps can our listeners take?
First, define your housing goals. What type of property are you looking for? Where do you want to live? What's your budget? Once you have a clear vision, you can start to break down the savings process.
How much do you need for a down payment? How long will it take to save that amount?
And remember, there are resources available to help you.
Don't be afraid to explore different options.
Absolutely. There are government programs, financial institutions, even community organizations that offer assistance with down payment savings. It's about doing your research and finding the right fit for your situation.
And don't be afraid to get creative. You might consider house hacking, renting out a spare room, or even exploring alternate housing options like tiny homes or co-living spaces.
The key is to be resourceful, persistent, and committed to your goal. Now let's move on to another exciting topic, investing. This is where we really start to see our money grow and work for us.
Investing is like planting a seed and watching it grow into a mighty tree.
It's a powerful tool for building wealth and securing your financial future, but we know it can seem intimidating, especially for beginners.
Exactly. There's risk involved, it requires research, and it can be challenging to know where to start. So let's demystify investing for our listeners. What are some key principles they should keep in mind?
Well, first you need to understand your risk tolerance. How much volatility are you comfortable with? What's your time horizon? Are you investing for the short term or the long term?
Once you have a grasp of your risk profile, you can start to explore different investment options.
There are stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, even alternative investments like cryptocurrencies.
The key is to diversify your portfolio, spreading your investments across different asset classes to manage risk. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, right. And remember, you don't need to be a financial expert to get started. There are resources available like robo-advisors that can create and manage a portfolio for you based on your goals and risk tolerance.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a financial advisor. They can help you create a personalized investment plan and provide ongoing support.
Now let's talk about an investment strategy that's gaining popularity among Filipinos investing in the Philippine stock market.
The Philippine Stock Exchange, or PSE, offers a fantastic opportunity to invest in companies that are driving the growth of the Philippine economy.
It's a way to participate in the country's progress and potentially benefit from its long-term growth potential.
However, it's important to remember that investing in the stock market always carries some level of risk. Stock prices can fluctuate, and there's a chance of losing money.
Absolutely. Thorough research is key.
Understand the companies you're investing in and have a long-term investment horizon. Don't try to time the market or make quick profits.
Patience and a solid understanding of the companies you choose are essential. Now let's shift gears and talk about a topic that might seem far off, especially for our younger listeners: financial planning for retirement.
Retirement might seem like a distant concept, but it's never too early to start planning, especially if you want to enjoy those golden years to the fullest.
And for Filipinos who value family and community retirement planning, is about ensuring financial independence and the ability to support loved ones in the future.
But retirement planning can be complex. It involves estimating your future expenses, figuring out how much to save, and choosing the right investment vehicles.
It can feel like a puzzle, but let's break it down. The first step is to envision your ideal retirement. What does it look like? Where do you want to live? What activities do you want to pursue? How much income will you need to support your lifestyle?
Once you have a clear picture of your retirement vision, you can start crunching the numbers. How much do you need to save? What's your current savings rate? What are your projected investment returns?
And don't forget to factor in inflation. The cost of living is likely to increase over time, so your retirement savings need to keep pace.
There are various retirement savings vehicles available like 401ks, IRAs, and even Roth IRAs. It's important to understand the differences between these options and choose the ones that align with your goals and tax situation.
And if you're employed, take advantage of any employer-sponsored retirement plans, especially if they offer matching contributions. It's essentially free money.
Don't leave that on the table.
Yeah.
And remember, if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, a financial advisor can be an invaluable resource. They can help you create a personalized retirement plan and make adjustments as your needs and circumstances change over time.
Speaking of unique circumstances, let's address a specific retirement planning challenge that many Filipinos face: supporting aging parents.
Filipino culture is deeply rooted in family, and it's common for adult children to financially support their aging parents. It's a beautiful expression of love and respect, but it can also be a significant financial responsibility.
Absolutely. It's a balancing act, especially if you're also saving for your own retirement or supporting a family of your own.
So how do we navigate this delicate situation? How can we manage the financial needs of both ourselves and our parents?
Open and honest communication is key. Talk to your parents about their financial situation, their needs, and their expectations.
Create a plan together that outlines everyone's responsibilities and contributions.
Explore different options like long-term care insurance or government assistance programs to help cover the costs of elder care.
And remember, it's okay to set boundaries and prioritize your own financial well-being.
You can't pour from an empty cup. Now let's talk about another important aspect of financial planning, estate planning.
Escape planning is often seen as something for older people, but it's actually relevant for anyone, regardless of age or wealth.
It's about making sure your assets are distributed according to your wishes and ensuring your loved ones are taken care of after you're gone.
For Filipinos who highly value family and legacy, estate planning can be a powerful way to protect your loved ones and pass on your values to future generations. So what are some essential components of estate planning?
A will is a fundamental document that outlines how you want your assets to be distributed. It also names an executor who will be responsible for carrying out your wishes.
You'll also want to consider a power of attorney, which designates someone to make financial and legal decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated.
And a healthcare proxy allows you to appoint someone to make medical decisions for you if you're unable to do so yourself.
It's all about having a plan in place for different situations.
And don't forget about life insurance, which can provide financial security for your loved ones in the event of your death.
If you have minor children, you'll need to establish guardianship to ensure they're cared for if you're no longer able to do so.
It's about protecting your family's future. Estate planning can be complex, so it's wise to consult with an estate planning attorney. They can guide you through the process and ensure your documents are legally sound.
Now let's address a specific aspect of estate planning that's particularly relevant for Filipinos overseas Filipinos, or OFWs.
OFWs often have assets and investments in both the Philippines and their host countries, which can create some unique challenges when it comes to estate planning.
It's crucial to understand the inheritance laws in both the Philippines and your host country. These laws can differ significantly, and it's important to ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes.
Consider establishing separate wills, one for your assets in the Philippines and another for your assets abroad.
And seek guidance from estate planning attorneys who specialize in cross-border estate planning. They can help you navigate the legal complexities and ensure your wishes are carried out smoothly.
Now, before we move on to our final thoughts, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the power of community in our financial journeys.
Yes, we often think of personal finance as a solitary pursuit, but having a supportive network can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. Whether it's family, friends, online communities, or even financial mentors sharing your goals, challenges, and successes with others can provide motivation, accountability, and valuable insights.
And for Filipinos, with our strong sense of community and family ties, this aspect is even more powerful. We can learn from each other, share tips, and even support each other through tough financial times.
So let's encourage our listeners to reach out, build those connections, and not be afraid to ask for help when needed. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're all in this together.
We are.
Now let's wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts and takeaways for our listeners.
Okay.
Remember that financial literacy is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and adapting.
Embrace the Filipino values of hard work, resilience, and community. These values can be your greatest assets on your financial journey.
And don't be afraid to seek guidance. Whether it's from a financial advisor, a mentor, or a trusted friend or family member, there's a wealth of support available.
Most importantly, believe in yourself and your ability to achieve your financial goals.
Now let's leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question to ponder as we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
All right.
What one action will you take today to improve your financial knowledge or skills? Remember, even small steps can lead to big results over time.
We'll be back in a moment to share some final words of inspiration. See you soon. Welcome back to Financially Smart Pinoy. We're wrapping up our deep dive into financial literacy, and I hope you're feeling inspired.
Yeah, ready to take charge.
To take charge of your finances.
Exactly.
And remember that question we left you with.
What was it?
What one action will you take today to improve your financial knowledge or skills?
Oh, good one.
It doesn't have to be something huge.
No, even something small can make a difference.
Like reading a personal finance article or setting up a budget tracker on your phone.
Or even just talking to a family member about your financial goals.
It's all about taking that first step.
Absolutely.
You know, one thing that really stood out to me from today's sources is the emphasis on both knowledge and mindset.
Yeah, it's not just about the technical stuff, right?
Right.
It's about your attitude towards money.
It is. Professor Wang's CFO analogy is so brilliant. It's about seeing yourself as capable and in control.
And remember, the Pew study showed us that knowledge really does boost confidence when it comes to finances.
It's true. The more we learn, the less intimidating it all feels.
Right. And that gives us the power to make good decisions and actually take action.
Now, for anyone feeling a little overwhelmed, like where do I even begin? Remember, you don't have to become a financial expert overnight.
Take it slow.
It's a journey,
Yeah, think of it like building a Bahay Kubo.
one step at a time.
Yeah, start with something small, like checking your credit report, setting up a simple budget, or just exploring some online resources.
Progress, not perfection. That's what matters.
And remember, there's a whole community out there to support you.
Including us here at Financially Smart Pinoy.
We're all in this together. Don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions, share your experiences.
Yeah, we can learn and grow together.
Sure.
Now, before we sign off, I want to leave you with this final thought. Financial success. It's about more than just the numbers in your bank account.
It's about your values.
It's about aligning your finances with your values and creating a life that brings you joy and security.
And freedom.
Yeah, the freedom to pursue your passions, support your loved ones, make a difference in the world.
So go out there.
Be the CFO of your own life.
And create a future filled with abundance and fulfillment.
Moraming Salamat for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it helpful.
And don't forget to hit that follow button and share this episode with anyone who might benefit.
We're all about spreading financial knowledge and empowerment within the Filipino community.
Until next time, ingat po kayo.